How has everything gone with the project, with the system?
Yeah, of course. We started together, or we started under construction during COVID, and I believe 2020 is when we started having site meetings. Right from the get-go, Quik Therm was part of the design assist process. The project you guys did on Shoal Lake was what pushed it over the edge of why we wanted to work with Quik Therm. We saw what the matrix system could do on a roofing assembly like that. We saw some of the benefits that it had at Shoal Lake where you were able to reduce the mechanical system. And so yeah, we started construction in 2020. I believe we moved in July of 2020. We built through arguably one of the most difficult time periods ever in the history of construction with
Oh
supply
yeah.
chain issues with COVID. I think it was the 2021 or it was 2022. It was the largest recorded precipitation and snowfall year that Manitoba has ever seen. I remember personally being on site in the loader every morning for 3 hours because it seemed like we got a foot of snow every day. Oh yeah, that was very entertaining. Now, one of the things, like from a Quik Therm perspective specifically, that made the job really easy is we were able to close in the building in the middle of January. So we were able to actually reduce our heating and hoarding costs during that time period because of using exterior insulation. It was warm. So we're mudding and taping, and not only was it the highest precipitation year, I think it was minus 40 every day for 4 months. So just horrible building conditions, but we never missed a single day of on-site work while we were going through. And I got to give some credit to Park West Projects, who is the general contractor on the project as well. They did a great job of scheduling the construction to make sure that the team could perform and that we could deliver the project on time.
That was a crazy year. That's sweet. I'm happy that it worked out great for you guys, at least from the Quick Therm perspective on things. You mentioned Shoal Lake and some of the advantages there. What were some of the details, like the specific things that you liked about the matrix system? Like, what do you think was maybe the biggest thing that stood out about the system when you decided to go forward with it?
The easiest decision was the matrix roof. And the reason being for that is standing seam roof assemblies, they can get very convoluted. So you can
Mhm.
have anything from wooden decks to full pre-eng assemblies to like just the variety and the range, because there isn't necessarily an industry standard for a standing seam roof system. And so one of the advantages that we really liked about that when deciding to use it on our office build here is just the simplicity of the system and the quality of the R value. So we've got an R52 and a half roof and its nominal value is R54. So when I look at value, it's not only, okay, what am I paying? It's what am I getting out of it? And I'm getting an assembly that essentially is thermally bridge free. So it's performing exactly to what we expected. So that made it the decision very easy for us. The install time was a huge piece as well. We did the entire roof system from December to the start of January and had the metal and all the cladding and everything completed within 5 week time frame, which depending on the roof assembly you pick, certain roof assemblies you can't even work with in the middle of winter. So
Yeah.
those were a couple of the major factors. Ultimately, if I boil it down to a couple points, it was the quality of the R value. Energy efficiency was a huge leading factor as to how we did the design and the basis of design for this building. And then the second was just ease of install and then helping to keep the construction schedule on time.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've heard a lot about the product, right? Is that labor savings aspect with the dual layer system and eliminating a lot of the expensive components, especially from a labor perspective. So we also did that energy case study on your building, and you ended up getting some pretty cool results. So I'm just curious, like, how has it been going from an energy efficiency standpoint, and what is some of the stuff that you've seen in that regard?
Yeah, so when we set out into the project, the goal was to achieve NECB 2012, that was the Manitoba code at the time, plus 30%. So 30% higher than what the standard or minimum code would be, or what would be compliant within our climate at the time. Manitoba has a great rebate program, so you want to take advantage of that. Secondly, this is our office building, hopefully for the next 50 to 100 years. So as our team grows, we wanted the comfort to know that we've got a high quality building envelope that we're able to take advantage of those cost savings and utility savings over a long period of time. And we achieved some pretty cool results. And we went into it and the initial model said, okay, I think it was 31 or 32% as what we were expected to achieve. And we completed an Energy Star audit a year after using 12 months of actual utility data. So I think that was in about November of 2023 after about 15 or 16 months in the building. And we actually realized we were saving 58% on our utility bills. And so we're around 6 to 70 cents a square foot for an office building in Manitoba for utilities, and the market average is between about a buck 50 and 250 a square foot.
Holy, that's nuts.
Yeah. So that's quantified a little differently. It's about $11,500 per year that I'm either putting on base rent as a landlord or splitting it 50-50 with the tenant, or just taking that out of the environment and doing my part as a developer to try and lower our carbon emissions and usage. So it's, you look at it and it's a win. And then we dug into it a little bit deeper and we said, okay, that's fantastic, but why are we achieving these results? Why are we saving so much above what the energy model is specifying? And there's a couple things, and it boils down into two very easy concepts. When you don't have air leakage on a building and the air tightness is well done and the envelope is done properly, you're not having to exchange the air, and you're not having to heat what's already warm, and you're not having to cool what's already cool. So it's a very simple concept, but something that's often overlooked is just the air tightness. And because we use the matrix system, we essentially have two layers of air tightness wrapped around the entirety of this building. And then the second thing, and we didn't realize this till after the fact, but we actually reduced our mechanical system by between 40 and 50%. And so this 16,000 square foot building that we're in is heated with 6 residential furnaces, the same Lennox furnace you would have in your house. So you've got, it's a 98% efficiency versus a rooftop, which is about 89%. And from a landlord's perspective who's renting this out to tenants, it's a significantly reduced cost to them, because to service a rooftop unit is about 10 times the cost of servicing a residential furnace. So you boil down all of these different things, and the exciting part for us is it wasn't just, okay, we've won on utilities and that's great. We've got a more comfortable building, we've got a quieter building, we've got a building that's more airtight. We're able as a landlord to make a little bit more off of our base rent because we've got an added value of our tenants not paying that utility in their grossed up rent. Got the value of the reduced mechanical system. For the entirety of this building, we have a reduced common area maintenance cost because of the fact that we're not servicing rooftop units. So it boiled down into 5 or 7 of these different fantastic wins that we got on this project. And for us, we knew just how good install and the budgeting and everything went on the project, that we were going to be using Quik Therm on everything going forward. But this really, like 18 months after, in 2020, mid 2023, 2024, we really knew, we're like, okay, we have something special here and we need to make this the base of design for all of our future projects.
To be able to produce the results that we got with that energy case study and to actually get that tangible data back, where I feel like you don't really get that information from a lot of different products, and people make claims, but then at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you're saving $11,000 roughly per year in energy costs. That's pure evidence of how the system is performing, and then also all the other little benefits down the road.
I guess the only other thing I didn't mention, just when you're taking a look at high efficiency building envelopes, one of the main concerns that tends to come up is, okay, I've achieved the energy efficiency, but now I have to give up or forfeit something on the architectural side of things. And just because of the way the battens are inlaid in the Quik Therm product, like we've got full bed masonry on this building, we've got architectural metal panels, we've got high-end glazing. Like we didn't sacrifice anything on the architectural side. So I spoke about how the matrix roof was great, but the matrix walls really is what allowed us to achieve not only the high performance, and I'm probably a little bit biased, but I think my building looks nice, but just the ability to mix and match the design goals when you go into a project. We didn't have to sacrifice one for the other. We were able to achieve all of them. And I have to credit you and the team at Quik Therm too. And we set out on this. There are lots of questions and we were still learning and going through what can we do and what can't we do. And so you guys really helped us through with the basis of the design process on that and just achieving what the ultimate project goal was. And to boil it down, we were looking for an office space that could act as a showcase for us in our key development, which is McGillivray Business Park here, that we could show off to customers, not only from the energy modeling standpoint, because it's a big part of our future. We want to be responsible. We want to do our part in the fight against climate change and reducing emissions. But we also wanted something that we were proud of at the end of the day that looked good and that kind of gave our customers confidence that as we work with them as consultants or as we work with them on the construction side of things, that we have our showcases is in where our building is. And one of the big things is actions speak louder than words. And that's really what we tried to achieve with this project as a whole and in totality.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys succeeded with that. Very cool, man. I appreciate the conversation today. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be around sometime soon. And I want to take a look and see how everything's going in there. Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it. I don't need to take up any more time.
Sounds good.
Have a good rest of your day, dude.
Awesome. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.